With a galaxy's worth of resources at its disposal, the Empire believes itself to be utterly invincible. However, after continued losses to under-equipped forces with outdated weaponry, its confidence has been shaken. Due to the ingenuity of rebel engineers, the Empire's weaknesses have been exposed and exploited. Counter the Empire's technological supremacy and fully operational. This sourcebook expands upon the Age of Rebellion role-playing game, presenting new options for engineer characters, as well as any other characters interested in expanding and maintaining the Rebellion's arsenal. Design and build new custom starships and vehicles, demolish enemy fortifications, and demonstrate the true strength of the Rebellion. This is a review of Fully Operational. Let's dive in. So here we have Age of Rebellion Fully Operational, a sourcebook for engineers. This is copyright 2018 by Fantasy Flight, now Edge Studios. The introduction provides a brief synopsis of how engineers fit into the Star Wars universe, specifically in the Rebellion. It is a good read if you need some ideas for a character, but this is all pure fluff. You either like it or you don't. Building a Rebellion is the chapter for new player things. You'll find new species, specializations, gear, and vehicles for players and the GMs to use. The engineer career has a new duty table to use that is very specific to the career. So we're going to have things like chemical, biological analysis, civilian outreach, disaster relief, environmental manipulation, field training, munitions, research and development, surveying the enemy, siege engineering, testing, transportation, rescue and recovery/evac. There are 3 species for players to use: Bith, Kaminoan, and Skakoans. The Bith begin the game with a 3 in presence, a 1 in brawn, and a 2 in everything else. Their wound and strength threshold is 10 plus the relevant characteristic. They begin the game with 100 starting XP, and they also begin the game with 1 rank in perception. The Bith also have sensitive hearing, which allows them to add a boost die whenever they make a hearing-based perception check. When Bith suffer strain due to loud noises, such as from sonic weapons, they suffer twice the normal amount of strain. Wearing ear protection negates both effects of this ability. Kaminoans begin the game with a 3 in intellect, a 1 in brawn, and a 2 in everything else. Their wound threshold is 9 plus brawn, and their strength threshold is 10 plus willpower. They do begin the game with 100 XP though. Kaminoans begin the game with 1 rank in medicine and the researcher talent, and they are also expressionless. So Kaminoans add a setback die to all charm checks they make. Other characters add setback dice to all social skill checks they make when targeting Kaminoans. Skakoans begin the game with a 3 in intellect, a 1 in cunning, and a 2 in everything else. Their wound threshold is 10 plus brawn, but their strain threshold is 8 plus willpower, and they only begin the game with 80 XP. They do begin the game with 1 rank in knowledge, education, and mechanics. They are also methane breathers, which means they need to wear a special suit with +2 soak, encumbrance 3, and 3 hard points. Engineers also have 3 additional specializations: droid specialist, sapper, and shipwright. The engineer's career skills include athletics, computers, knowledge education, mechanics, perception, piloting space, range light, and vigilance. The droid specialist adds computers, cool, mechanics, and melee to that list. In the first tier, we have design flaw. When making a combat check with a personal scale weapon against a droid may add an advantage equal to ranks in design flaw. There's speak binary. When directing NPC droids, may grant them boost dice per rank of speaks binary on checks. They have a rank of grit, so they gain +1 strength threshold, and they have toughen, so they gain +2 wound threshold. In the second tier, we have hidden storage. Gain hidden storage in vehicle or equipment that holds items with total encumbrance equal to ranks in hidden storage. There's combat programming. Once per encounter, make a hard computers check while repairing or working on a droid. For the remainder of the encounter, the droid gains 1 rank in 2 different combat skills. There's repair patch specialization. Whenever using an emergency repair patch, the target heals an additional wound per rank of repair patch specialization. And there's gearhead. Remove a setback die per rank of gearhead from mechanics checks. Half the credit cost to add mods to attachments. In the third tier, we have another rank of gearhead, we have another rank of hidden storage, and we have another rank of speaks binary. But we also add machine mender. When making a mechanics check to help a character heal wounds, target heals 1 additional wound per rank of Machine Mender. In the 4th tier, we have another rank of Design Flaw, another rank of Machine Mender, and another rank of Grit, but we also add Desperate Repairs. Once per session, make a hard mechanics check on 1 engaged allied droid. If successful, the droid becomes immobilized and staggered for 1 round, then heals all strain and 1 critical injury with a severity rating no greater than hard. In the 5th and final tier, we have another rank of Repair Patch Specialization, but we also add Master Artisan. Once per round, may take the Master Artisan Incidental. Suffer 2 strain to decrease the difficulty of the next mechanics check by 1 to a minimum of easy. There's Reroute Processors. Once per encounter, may take a Reroute Processors action. Make an average computers check to reduce 1 of a droid's characteristics by 1 and increase another of its characteristics by 1. And there's Dedication. Gain +1 to a single characteristic. The Sapper's bonus career skills include Athletics, Knowledge Warfare, Mechanics, and Survival. In the 1st tier, we have Construction Specialist. Remove a setback die equal to ranks in Construction Specialist from checks to construct defenses, positions, fortifications, and similar projects. There's a rank of Toughened. There's Durable, so they may reduce any critical injury suffered by 10 per rank of Durable to a minimum of 1. And there's a rank of Grit. In the 2nd tier, we have another rank of Construction Specialist, but we also add Known Schematic. Once per session, may perform the Known Schematic maneuver. Make a hard knowledge education check. Success grants familiarity with a building or ship's design. There's Contraption. Once per session, may take Contraption action. Make a hard mechanics check to fashion a device to solve a current problem using just the tools and parts on hand. And there's Powerful Blast. Increased blast damage dealt by explosives, explosive weapons, and grenades by 1 per rank of Powerful Blast. In the 3rd tier, we have another rank of Grit, another rank of Durable, and another rank of Powerful Blast, but we also add Improvised Defenses. May make an average survival check to fashion small defenses. It provides cover for up to 4 characters for the rest of the encounter. In the 4th tier, we have Utility Belt. Spend 1 destiny point to perform a Utility Belt Incidental. Produce a previously undocumented item or weapon with restrictions from a tool belt or a satchel. There's Strong Arm. Treat thrown weapons as if they had 1 greater range. There's Improvised Detonation. Once per session, make a hard mechanics check to perform the improvised detonation action and build an explosive device dealing damage equal to ranks in Intellect plus ranks in Mechanics plus successes. And there's Master Grenadier. Decrease the advantage cost to activate the blast quality of any weapon used by 1 to a minimum of 1. In the 5th tier, we have Weak Foundation. Once per session, may take the Weak Foundation action. Make a hard knowledge warfare check. If successful, for the remainder of the encounter, the character and all allies add automatic 2 advantages or a success to all combat checks made targeting the identified fixed structure. There's a rank of Dedication. There's Improvised Position. The character may make a hard mechanics check to construct a secure position. This provides cover for the group and its vehicles. And there's Master Demolitionist. When resolving an attack from a personal explosive or ordnance weapon, may spend advantage or triumph to have the weapon's blast quality act at a short range, or medium if it already acts at short. The Shipwright's bonus career skills include Gunnery, Knowledge Education, Mechanics, and Piloting Space. For the 1st tier, we have Dockyard Expertise. May make an average knowledge education check when at a space dock. If successful, the cost and time for repairs is reduced by 20% per rank of Dockyard Expertise. There's Eye for Detail. After making a mechanics or computers check, may suffer strain up to ranks in Eye for Detail to convert that many successes to advantages. There's a rank of Grit, and there's Creative Design. As part of resolving a successful crafting check, the character may also apply a result equivalent to spending a number of advantages equal to his ranks in Creative Design. The GM may then apply a result equivalent to spending that same number of threat. In the 2nd tier, we have another rank of Eye for Detail, but we also add Solid Repairs. When repairing hull trauma on a starship or vehicle, repair 1 additional hull trauma per rank of Solid Repairs. There's Fine Tuning. When repairing system strain on a starship or vehicle, repair 1 additional system strain per rank of Fine Tuning. And there's Debilitating Shot. Upon successful attack with a starship or vehicle weapon, may spend 2 advantages to reduce the maximum speed of the target by 1 until the end of the next round. In the third tier, we have another rank of dockyard expertise and another rank of creative design, but we also add known schematic. Once per session, may perform the known schematic maneuver. Make a hard knowledge education check. Success grants familiarity with a building or ship's design. And there's smart handling. Once per session, take the smart handling action. Make a hard knowledge education check. Until the start of the next round, the ship's handling increases by 2 plus an amount equal to advantages scored on the check to a maximum handling of +4. In the fourth tier, we have another rank of creative design and another rank of solid repairs, but we also add bot info. Instead of making a knowledge check, may take a bot info action. Spend credits equal to 50 times the difficulty of the check to pass with 1 success. And there's push the specs. Perform the push the specs action when in a starship or vehicle, making an average knowledge education check. With success, the ship's top speed increases by 1 for a number of rounds equal to the character's intellect. In the final tier, we have a rank of dedication, but we also have Master Artisan. Once per round, take the Master Artisan incidental. Suffer 2 strain to decrease the difficulty of next mechanics check by 1 to a minimum of easy. There's Stroke of Genius. Once per session, make 1 skill check using intellect rather than the characteristic linked to that skill. And finally, we have Exhaust Port. Before attacking a starship or vehicle, the character may spend 1 destiny point to ignore the effects of the massive rule for the attack. Engineers also have a new motivation category, Improvement. This will include things like accuracy, challenge, lethality, aesthetics, reliability, flexibility, durability, makeshift, simplicity, and efficiency. There are 2 signature abilities for engineers, the harder they fall and unmatched ingenuity. Signature abilities are powerful, usually once per session abilities. These are attached to the bottom of a specialization that matches the career for that ability. There are also upgrades that you can purchase for them. The Harder They Fall's base ability says once per game session, as an incidental, the character may spend 2 destiny points and make a hard mechanics check. If successful, for the remainder of the encounter, combat checks the encounter makes against vehicles, structures, or droids that inflict wounds or hull trauma automatically inflict a critical injury or critical hit, depending on the target. Advantages or triumphs can be spent to trigger the attack's critical rating additional times, adding +10 to the critical roll as usual. Unmatched Ingenuity's base ability says, once per game session as an action, the character may spend 2 destiny points and make a hard mechanics check. If successful, he can add 1 item quality, except breach or concussive, to a weapon or item he is holding or operating. If applicable, the item quality has a rating of 1. The character may spend Triumph to add 1 additional quality to the same item, and advantages to increase an item's quality's rating by 1. This alteration lasts for 2 rounds, or 10 minutes of narrative time. Tools for Freedom is the chapter with all the new gear and vehicles to use. For new ranged weapons, we have things like the Arakid LJ40 Concussion Carbine, the Blastech DH-17C Short Carbine, the Zerka M9 Boomer Heavy Pistol, the Mark 8 Gravitic Mortar Launcher, the BKX-4 Shockweave Grenade, WP-19 Incendiary Grenade, and the WW-41 Cryoband Grenade, which is actually really cool. We have new explosive compounds and devices like the Baradium Charge, Detonite, Flex 5 Detonite Tape, Fuel Air Bomb, and Shaped Charges. For new armor, we have things like the Alliance Engineer's Helmet and Vest, the EOD Mark II Armor, the Fabricator's Protective Gear, and the Pioneer Armor. For building, construction, and carrying equipment, we have Foam Cast, the Model 40 Field Repulsor Hoist, the PSF Mark III Power Fence, and a Tool Belt. For modular base structures, we have the COM C52 Command Center, the HNG F304 Hangar or Motor Pool, and the Milbar F221 Barracks. For surveillance and scanning devices, we have the Mine Detector, which I would imagine is going to be very important if you're a demolitionist, the SC90 Scanner, the Shipboard System Scanner, and the Surveyor's Equipment. For tools and electronics, we have things like the Breaker Heavy Hydrospanner, Demolition's Toolkit, DF15 Fusion Generator, Engineer's Hammer, EOD Kit, Merson VX8 Intelligent Toolbox, Pioneer Squad Toolkit, Powered Entrenching Tool, and the Vibro Pickaxe, because, of course, we needed another Vibro weapon. We have a few new droids to play around with as well, like the BT Series Ordnance Droid, the EG6 Power Droid, EOD Mark IV Remote, the GT Series Construction Droid, and the RH Series Research Droid. In terms of new vehicles, we have things like the T-2E Petard class combat engineering vehicle, the UEV M1 Marauder Engineer Squad Carrier, the IC-4A Combat Construction Droid, the ATCE Combat Excavator, the AINIK class Scientific Survey Vessel, the Kason class Engineering Troop Carrier, the Haven class Mobile Space Dock, which I think is pretty cool, and the MK-9 Orbital Maintenance Depot. Crafting Victory is the chapter for GMs. First, we have some advice on how to integrate engineers and the different specializations into the campaign. The first major rule expansion is how the mechanic skill functions. There's now a table to use for spending advantages, threats, triumphs, and despairs. You can also craft improvised tools, an impressive set of tools, a combat refit, replenish fuel supplies, undertake a quick structural assessment, and write a tech manual, if you really want to. Next, we have repair and construction efforts in different settings, such as an active battlefield and other various biomes. These are usually the implementation of setback dies, but there are other ways for the GM to spend threats and despairs for some of them. Another major expansion to the rules is converting civilian vehicles and facilities for military use. The civilian facility refits come with a table for specific upgrades and is a great addition if you have a campaign that makes use of bases or even long-term hideouts. The civilian vehicles, unfortunately, isn't as intricate and is just a list of things that happen to that vehicle. It would have been nice if they had a table as they had provided in Dangerous Covenants. Then we get crafting for new vessels. Holy cow, so many new additions to mechanical rules in just this one book. Like with other crafting options in the game, you'll select a template, acquire materials, and then construct. There are different template profiles to choose from, each with its own stats, like speeder bike, land speeder, air speeder, walker, starfighter, freighter, and shuttle. If you have a mechanic whose dream it is to craft a vehicle, this is going to be awesome for them. Simply top tier. There are many new things for engineers or mechanic-based characters to use in Fully Operational. You have an expansion to mechanics, civilian vehicles being turned into military vehicles, as well as buildings, and then you have vehicle crafting, of all things. The engineer career is already quite capable, and it's even more so with the new stuff in Fully Operational. This is the type of book that I want to see in these Star Wars splat books. Just give a career more options to be globally useful. Well, that's going to do it for this video. Feel free to leave a comment down below. Give this video a huge thumbs up to support the series, and I will see you guys in the next video.